Welcome to the Princess Power Hour, where we show you how to go from pauper to powerful by transforming your health, your wealth, and your relationships. Here's the princess of podcasting herself, Natalie Thomas.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. We are going to have an awesome show. Monika Tupholme, is joining us from Toronto, Canada, and we are going to be talking about why our metabolism slows as we age and how to stop it. Now, girls, I know you want to know the answer to that. And she was just telling me the most hysterical titles of some of her freebies that she has for us. And Santa stole my Spanx.
Yes.
So the holidays may be over by the time you watch this, but she's got it the same thing under another title. So you're going to get it, and we're going to have fun. But first, I'm going to tell you about my amazing lip color of the day. This is Lexi Berry. And I always tell you that it is lead-free, wax-free. It is FDA approved. It's GMO free. It's cruelty free, which we really like that, don't we? We don't want animal testing. And there's a whole bunch of other things, but my favorite part is the confidence that this lipstick gives me. Okay. I'm busy. You're busy. Moni is busy. She's a mom of 2, and I put this lipstick on in the morning, and it is going to stay there a minimum of 4 hours, up to 18 hours. And check this out. I can kiss my husband. It doesn't come off. I can see Moni's face right now. Look at this. I can rub it. It doesn't come off.
Wow.
I can eat. I can drink. Now, I don't smoke, but, do you ever see women with, lipstick on their cigarettes? If you do, you don't have to put up with that. So you can grab this over at www.lipstickkissesandlove.com. And while you're there, I always say grab a gloss, because it's the secret sauce that keeps it all locked in for the day. You would not like the color at all if you don't get the gloss. But I do have a special going, and this one is really fun. You get 3 lip colors and 3 glosses of your choice, and you get a master makeup class with me personally, and I teach you how to turn those 3 colors and 3 glosses into looks for 30 days. These colors mix. It's absolutely amazing in how you layer them. So somebody had me swatch these yesterday, Moni. Look at this. She was trying to pick a red. Look at that. I can rub that. That's from yesterday. I have washed my hands. I have taken a bath. And it's not going to stay on my lips for 3 or 4 days, but it can stay on my hand for 3 or 4 days. So isn't that super cool?
I love it.
All right.
It looks great with your hair color too. I love that color on you.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? I think I called you Monika in the beginning. It's Monika, folks. I'm so sorry. I have a relative that her name is pronounced differently. So and she goes by Moni. So
yes.
Moni Tupholme is with us today. I'm so sorry about that. She is a mom of 2. We don't count the hubby, which sometimes can count as 3. She's a former professional volleyball player who's now a functional training and nutritional expert that works with women to teach them a new way to eat and train so they can reignite their metabolism, so they can lose weight, and I love this part, gain confidence. Isn't that what I was just talking about? Moni, women need confidence, don't they?
They really, really do. And I think it's the whole premise of just looking at yourself in the mirror like you do with your lipstick and just loving what you see back, being confident in what you see back and just sort of giving gratitude at what you see back. And so many women don't have that today. And especially in that 40 plus range when things start to change and shift a little bit and people just sort of get fuzzy. And you know what, let's be realistic. Everyone's like busy and tired. You ask a lot of people today, hey, how are you feeling today? I'm tired, I'm busy, I'm sick. So, it may be just something simple to say, like just have confidence in yourself, but it takes some work to get there for a lot of people.
It does. And years ago, I heard about naked yoga. Okay. And at the time, I remember thinking that was a little bit odd. Now, I'm not suggesting doing that publicly, but I like yoga. I like the stretching of it. I don't incorporate the religious aspect of it, the spiritual aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
But the moves are kind of low impact, obviously. And if you look at women who really have a yoga body, and I don't, because I don't put in the time that you would need to get a yoga body, but I'm impressed with those who do. But now I get the value of at home doing yoga in front of a mirror because you learn to appreciate yourself and you learn to see how a move can change a muscle. And, and I think it's okay to really take in who we are and love, what does it say, warts and all?
Yes, exactly. And I think you touched on a great point, because I think there's a fine line between, a lot of my clients say to me, well, maybe this is just how I'm supposed to be. We're speaking about people that are a little bit older, and, I've had kids, or, I've done this and done that, and my, bodies change, and this is just how it should be, and I should accept it. And there's a fine line between that and looking into the mirror and saying, no, I don't accept this. I feel that I should be grateful for what my body can do now. Like you said, different movements, different muscles, different things, and love what you see. Right. So it's a fine line to get people to cross over to the other side and have that confidence to do naked yoga in front of a mirror, which would be amazing.
But I'm going to flat out say this. Okay. I don't have a perfect body. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm probably too lazy to put in the time and the effort to get a perfect body. And I'm busy. We're all busy. Okay.
Yep.
But I am making more time now that I'm working from home. Okay. I don't get as much exercise as I did before. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of stairs in my home. My home is 5 different levels. So I'm up and down all the time. And I was kind of thinking, well, that helps, right? But the reality is, if I start looking at the bigger picture, and this is for all of you, we can analyze what in our life do we need to change and why do we need to change it? Okay. Now I'm here in Kentucky. It's much colder than California. Okay. And I'm having to face the fact that I don't want to have arthritis when I'm older. And if I don't want to have arthritis when I'm older, I need to make changes now. So down in my basement, I have my little rebounder because that's the best place I can find for it, but it also creates more stairs. And 3 times a day, I go down there and spend some time on that rebounder to get in some extra steps in my day. Otherwise, I'm nowhere near. If you're in the Fitbit world, they like 10,000 steps a day. And I used to be really happy if mine had a party at 3,000. It has fireworks that goes off on your arm.
Right.
And it vibrates. And I'm like, oh, okay, I did it. I did 3,000.
We did it.
And so what kinds of things can we do as we're aging? And you are an amazing. Do you want to tell everybody how old you are? Because you are amazing.
I am going to be 45 next month. So December 29th, 2017 is my 45th birthday. So make sure you connect with me and give me birthday wishes because yes.
Well, I'm going to wish you happy birthday now. You look fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you know how old I am? You already know I have a granddaughter, so you have an idea.
I know, but your skin is amazing. We were talking about this too.
Cute.
So 50. It's hard because I already know that you have a granddaughter in the age, so I'm doing the math in my head, so I can't be honest with it.
I'm 55.
Yes.
I'm 55, and I feel like I look pretty good for my age. I want to be the women in my family live a long time. And my great-grandmother and her twin sister, lived to be 98, both of them.
Wow.
And I just have this intention that I'm going to live to be 98, but healthy.
Yes.
That's the
There's a difference.
Right.
There's a difference.
And I have an older friend, and she says exercise is free medicine. And I thought, that's powerful. Now, I don't want to be old and sick. That's no fun.
Yes, our bodies crave movement. And I think we have to realize that this body and mind has not changed in millions and millions of years, but our lifestyle has. So it's very much used to movement. And though, people are like, I don't have time to be working out an hour a day. I always tell people, let's start with just movement. Let's just start, you're climbing your stairs. And being just an active person in our day to day. So like, taking the stairs instead of the elevator at work, walking to meet a friend to go see coffee, just those little things that we can implement in our day to create movement is so important. It doesn't mean that you need to hit a gym 5 days a week for an hour. Yes. That's sort of the go big or go home mentality. And then I challenge a lot of people to have that 10 minutes of some kind of physical activity. If it's, a walk connecting in nature, if it's you going in your basement, where you just mind body connect, meaning you are connecting with how your muscles are moving and what's happening in your breathe and your flow. And that's so important because we, especially as we age, we lose that connection with our body and we go very much in like how we feel. Right? Like, I just feel tired, but do I really feel tired? How does my body feel right now? How does my brain feel right now? So just having that sort of 10 minutes a day just to sort of move, walks. Like, I love the walks. I live in Toronto and I know telling someone
That's right,
to go for
it's cold. Yeah,
going for a 10-minute walk in February, they might think I'm crazy, but I do love people being outside. Breathing the fresh air as much as they can. But there's tons of things that you can do to just for 10 minutes. I give a lot of research.
How cold is it in Toronto in February?
It's not that cold right now. We've had the last 2 winters, we've barely even had snow. So right now, and I'm working in Celsius, even though I did go to school in Oklahoma, so I should know my Fahrenheit, but it's about 8 Celsius here today.
Oh, okay. And
so
I don't know the difference in Celsius.
I don't know what that is. Someone needs to Google it and tell us. But we probably won't get snow and like super cold till probably like January. We're always hoping for a white Christmas because the last 2 Christmases we haven't had white Christmas up
Well, you
yet.
had mentioned February, so I assumed February was your coolest.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty like January, February is pretty chilly. That's when everyone goes south.
It was 27 degrees Fahrenheit here last Saturday. And that was when I got up at 4 a.m. to go to work with my husband. And I mean, it was burning your skin, and I know it's going to go down another 30 degrees. Well, I'm from California. In California, when it hit 67, the girls at my work used to turn on the heater. Okay.
Oh, yes. You're in for a treat.
Yes, I'm obsessed with buying warm clothes now.
Yes.
But I'm also loving that we're talking about bodies. We're talking about health. I know we're going to be talking about food too. I want to tell you about 2 women in my life real quick. They're both the same age. They're both in their 80s. And a lot of us can't relate to women in their 80s. Okay. As a matter of fact, they're both 88 years old. They both have macular degeneration, which means they are both primarily blind. They can see a little bit in peripheral, but not in the front. And I am related to one of them who raised me. And the other is a dear friend at church. And the difference in these 2 women is absolutely amazing. One of them, we call her EM for eating machine because the way she metabolizes is unbelievable. She's just this little teeny skinny thing, and yet she can eat like crazy. And the other one is extremely obese. Okay. But the one that I'm related to has not gotten out of her reclining chair in over 50 years. Now, I mean, yes, she gets out to go to the bathroom, she gets out to go to bed, and she gets out to go to the doctor. But other than that, it's bring me a glass of water and heat my food and, And the other one takes the bus. She goes dancing. She goes to Hawaii every year. She goes to Tennessee to visit Nashville to go see Elvis Presley's former home, even though she sees it every single year. It's one of her favorite things to do. And this little friend of mine that is blind, she goes dancing. I take her out on the dance floor and I twirl her and
I love it.
But one of them chose to live and the other chose not to. And we need to make those choices at our age, at your 40 and at my 50, what our 80s are going to look like, don't you think?
100%. The choices we make now will transcend into our later years.
So what are some good choices that we can make? What can we do?
Movement for sure is primary, right? And I think even before that, I'd love to start people with saying, honestly, what we were talking about, when you look in the mirror, that's self-love. And I know the word self-love has been thrown out a lot lately. You need to make time for each other or for ourselves. We need to put ourselves first. We need to book time for ourselves in our calendar. And that context is great and very true. But I'm talking in the context of when I look in the mirror, I 100% wholeheartedly believe that I am worth it. That I am worth looking 10 years younger than I really am. I am worth fitting into my skinny jeans. And when I'm older, I am worth running after my grandkids at 60. I am worth having a fulfilled life in my later years. Okay. There has to be that belief wholeheartedly from your heart that you're worth it. Or else, like your example with your friend, they'll just settle. Right? So that's the baseline. Looking at yourself and saying, nope, I want this. I am worth it. What do I have to do? And then it really transitions into, obviously, I believe a lot in nutrition and real whole food eating. And, I love the saying, you are what you eat. So don't be like cheap, dirty, and fake.
Ooh, okay.
So beginning with whole food eating, and people know in your 40s, you can't eat how you did in your 20s and 30s, right? So how we transitions, one of my biggest tips is starting the day with water. We need to hydrate. 80% of us are walking around dehydrated. Okay, so making sure we have a big glass of water in the morning, lemon water too, if you can do that, which is perfect. And then starting our day with a good protein-rich breakfast. Okay, a lot of women later on are not having the protein throughout the day. And proteins, like, I'm not going to get into nutrition 101 here, but as we age, we decrease muscle mass, and our protein is a main building block for us to keep that lean muscle mass, which keeps our metabolism firing. So what are examples of good protein in the morning? Because right away people think eggs, and they're like, I'm going to have eggs every day. No. There's great plant-based sources. Chia seeds are fantastic. Hemp seeds, even, you can add those into your smoothies or into your yogurt and granola in the morning. And obviously your eggs as well. Adding some kind of lean meat in there too, you can do. So that's big. And I think that's, when we're transitioning from the recovery sleep phase and going into starting our day, our bodies need that jump start in the morning, right? Right. So having a good protein rich breakfast. If you are not a breakfast eater, and I know there's a lot of people out there.
I wasn't for decades.
Yeah, not a breakfast eater, can't do it. Then I say, that's fine. Start with smoothies. Something that's sort of liquidy that you can just put a straw on and sip on for, 15, 20 minutes, that you're not sitting there. It's not going to give you that sort of fullness that you didn't maybe like with breakfast. So start with smoothies.
Well, I'm going to cut you off there for a second, because we're going to take a quick commercial break, but I want you to be thinking while we do that. I want you to talk about the smoothies and what go in it, because there are smoothie restaurants around here. Restaurants is not the right word, but places. Yep. And the blasted things are full of sugar. There's not nutrition in them. Yes. So let's differentiate when we come back. So folks, we'll be right back. Are you looking for ways to make additional income? ChansonWater.com has 3 great ways to get up and running fast, making more money. We have a salesperson training school that teaches you all the ins and outs of selling and how to sell the hottest water health products available. We also have a dealer program and an affiliate program, all with different benefits and responsibilities. Go to ChansonWater.com website and look for the dealer tab at the top of the page to find out more about how you can start making money fast. Okay, Moni. Now let's talk about these sugared smoothies that you get that, they're real close to the gym place, and you get out and it sounds like you're doing a great thing. You're getting the orange banana, frappe, whatever thing. Is that what you're talking about with your smoothie?
Absolutely not. And I love that you brought that up, because we have to be very careful with our sugar content. As our metabolisms age, and a lot of side effects with that is women gaining weight. And the 2 things that we have to do as a root cause to really see why we're gaining weight is control our sugar and our hormones. Okay. So I'm sorry, if your sugar and your hormones are not regulated when you're older, you are not going to lose a pound. It's science, it's pure on fact. So sugar, like you said, is very important. So making sure like the juice bars, if you're going to buy from them, making sure that they're, a raw pressed juice. They're using good whole food ingredients. Be very careful of the yogurt. Some of these smoothie bars like to put a yogurt or vanilla yogurt into their smoothies. Yogurt can run very high in sugar.
That's true. Yes.
And just a tip for people, a few years ago, the fat-free phase was really, really big. And to stay away from that, I know some people are still looking for, the low-fat yogurt or the low-fat this. If they're taking the fat out, they have to make it still taste good. And they do that with sugar or some kind of cane syrup or something to make it sweeter, to taste good.
That is so important. That is
right?
a good point.
So I love making smoothies at home. It's way cheaper too, way cheaper. And you just really do need a good high-powered blender. When the freebie guys I'm going to offer at the end, I have a bunch of smoothie recipes in there that people can do that have a good combination of your proteins, carbs, and fats that we all need to rev our day up, right? But those are the big things when you're looking at, commercial bought smoothies, or you want to grab one after the gym. Try to go something that is more plant and fruit based without like the yogurts or any kind of addition that they might put in there.
So let's say we're doing it at home. What would I put in my smoothie at home?
So I'll tell you what I did my smoothie today. This is my favorite morning smoothie. I put a couple cupfuls of spinach, some filtered water, tablespoon of chia seeds. Okay, whole chia seeds. Have those chia seeds soak in the water for a little bit. Chia seeds swell as the time progresses. So we don't want them to swell inside of us. We want them to swell in the water.
Sure, okay.
I put in half a banana. If you freeze your banana beforehand, it makes your smoothie a little bit creamier. I put a tablespoon of almond butter. So organic raw almond butter. Very good. And lots and lots of ice. Okay. And we put it in. And another thing that I add to my smoothies, which is a nice supplement add for women in their 40s, is maca root. It's MACA. I highly recommend it. It's an adaptogen. It's also an aphrodisiac.
It is.
But it's an adaptogen. So it helps us regulate our hormones. So if you're in the stage where you get really bad PMS symptoms, or you're perimenopausal and you start feeling that, or you're right in the middle of menopause and hot flashes, it's a great natural addition. It's a Peruvian root. Make sure you get organic, raw, GMO free. It's just like, it's sort of a nutty flavor. You just add that into your smoothies. It's fantastic.
I used to try to sneak it into my ex-husband's smoothie every day. I didn't try. I did. He had like zero libido, and there's a bigger story. And I kept hoping that it would, spear something, but it didn't really help. So at least in his case, I'm not doubting macaroon. I'm saying, but I didn't actually know it worked for women's libido. So
yes. So that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite smoothies.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't do bananas, but I do a smoothie pretty much every day now, and have been working that for years. Absolutely love my little thing that whizzes everything up. And for a while we did the juicing, but when you do juicing, you lose the benefit of the fiber. So
fiber is very important as we age as well.
Why is it more important when we age?
Because our whole metabolism slows down, our whole digestive process slows down. So we need that fiber to help sort of just push everything through, right? Let's be real. Like, we should be ultimately pooing with every single meal. Most people are one a day, let's be real. And a lot of women don't. And that is just because of a sedentary lifestyle and a lot of lack of fiber and stress. A lot of people don't know stress. It's huge havoc on our digestion. So making sure, and don't get me wrong, I love juicing. I do not mind, detoxes and juice cleanses. I just think that we do need to be very careful that we watch the fiber, having that fiber in our diet.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I got into health and nutrition about 12 years ago when my ex-husband bought our first water ionizer. And I thought the whole thing was stupid. I thought water's water. Now, here's the dumb part about my story is I'm over here buying Penta water because somebody told me I could lose weight with it. I'm paying $30 a case for it. I'm doing it secretly without him knowing it, because he would have killed me if he didn't know I was spending that kind of money, right? And he's doing research he had been a former bodybuilder, and he was doing research because his mother had lung cancer and he wanted to find alternative treatments for her. And through Tony Robbins, we heard an interview with a doctor, and this about water ionizers, and my husband bought one, and my husband's going crazy testing it, like, testing all the water he could get his hands on and finding all these differences and everything. Well, it was just such an interesting process. He's making me drink it. And it turned out, by the way, Penna water, which doesn't advertise to be alkaline now, but when we tested it, at the time they were advertising that, it was the most acidic water of anything we have ever tested to date. So you don't know this, but my main business now is selling water ionizers because of the health results that he and I personally had during that, first 30 days of drinking the water. And I think a lot of my,
absolutely
young look is from drinking that amazing water. As you know, it makes the water cluster molecule size smaller. And so it goes deeper into your cells. It's pulling toxins out. But we tried the vegan lifestyle at that time. We definitely got into the juicing and into the smoothies, but I couldn't maintain, the like all vegetarian or all vegan lifestyle. But that one change of the water, and you touched on it in the beginning, have a big glass of water in the beginning. And, I know somewhere else in the material you filled out, you said that it's a huge game changer for feeling better. Tell us why, from your perspective.
The biggest reason is that we are walking around dehydrated. In water, we need water as a primary source for a lot of biochemical reactions in our bodies. And when we're dehydrated, systems start slowing down bit by bit, because our body, you're basically telling your body, wait, something is happening here. Are we going into starvation mode? Are we going into a fasting mode? What do I need to preserve? And especially from a metabolism and weight side, this triggers our body to hold on to everything it can. Okay. So you'll probably be bloated. You're going to gain some weight. You're going to, feel slow and sluggish. And I'd love to clarify with people, because people are always like, well, how much water? And really, the average person needs at least 3 liters of water a day for their brain to function. And people are just blown away by that. And, the old adage of saying, 8 glasses a day, well, that's great. And maybe it's a great start, but I know, my linebacker from, the Dallas Cowboys is not going to have 8 glasses of water versus my, your husband that's a jockey who's maybe half the size. So I always recommend to people is take half your body weight in ounces. Yeah. That is your bare minimum.
That's the number, girl. You got it.
Yeah. And if you work out more, and if you're in a humid or hot environment, it's even more. And people say to me, oh, Moni, I'm going to be going to the bathroom every 20 minutes. Yes, you will at the beginning. Yep. I'm not going to lie. You are. You're going to feel like you're pregnant. If you were pregnant at one time, you're going to feel like you're pregnant again. But your body will regulate. And you know this as well as I know this. You will, within 5 days of feeling hydrated, how much better you're going to feel. And your skin and your hair, and just not even the inside, but the outside, what you're going to feel by just giving your body water.
Well, I will give a little tip here for those people that are listening that don't know the differences. Okay. You can feel sloshy when you drink regular water. And you don't feel that when you drink the alkaline ionized water. So for those of you that are listening, my brand is Chanson, Chanson. You can check it out at chansonwater.com. Okay. But it's amazing. Your body actually begins to crave that water. And that water actually, that electrical charge, we're electrical beings. You know that, Moni. And food has measurable electricity in it. Okay.
Yep.
And it depends on how long since it's been picked and all of that kind of thing, but it's life-giving. And so this water is absolutely life-giving. It helps you balance, your body balance itself from, you were talking about stress earlier. Stress and exercise put lactic acid into our body. Most sicknesses and diseases are rooted in inflammation and acidity. So just by simply drinking water can be a huge change. And and you said it ties into the hormones too. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, can we eat the same as we did, say, when we were in our 30s or in our 20s?
Some people can, some people can't. And this is where I believe a lot in what I call bio-individuality. So meaning, you and I both do the paleo diet.
Mm-hmm.
I lose 5 pounds, you gain 5 pounds. Mm-hmm. So that's why I feel it's really hard for people sort of to gauge, doing a Google search and gauging, what kind of nutrition plan they should be doing when they're older, because what fits for one person may not be for other. With that said, however, there is a baseline that we can do and that we can all follow as we age and we're older. And the first thing by far is eat real food. Okay? Our bodies are meant to consume real food. So, that means the packaged and processed, walking the perimeter of the grocery store instead of the aisles. And I always say this to people, your body doesn't understand what a Ritz cracker is. It doesn't know what it is. So it has to work extra hard to try to pull any kind of nutrition or nutritional value out of this Ritz cracker to use for your processes in your body. So the cleaner that we can eat and the more real food that we can eat, the better.
Wow. I haven't heard anybody put it that way, and I like that. I like to look at a food and say, what nutrition is this going to provide me? And do I eat nutritious 100% of the time? No.
No.
But we try, right?
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, and it's cool that you talked about bio-individuality. My husband is 5'1". Mm-hmm. He weighs about 109 pounds. He kind of goes between 108 and 111. And his metabolism is extremely high because he's constantly working, his body. Mm-hmm. And so here I am. Can I eat pasta? No. Does he need pasta? He thinks so, and so there's that challenge because I don't consider pasta to have any nutrition whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. But everyone has different needs. And I think a lot of people forget healthy isn't healthy for everybody. So for example, if I have a client that has some digestion issues, I'm not necessarily going to put kale salad into her meal plan because kale is one of the harder to digest leafy greens out there. Amazing nutritional value. A cup of kale has more vitamin C than a medium-sized orange. Kale is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But for example, I wouldn't do it for her. Or for some, people, they'll go to a restaurant and they're ordering, the gluten-free pasta with the roasted veggies on top, with an olive oil sauce, and they think it's a healthy meal, when really the carb and the breakdown is huge and there's no real healthy fats in there. So there's a lot of sort of little things to play. Mm-hmm. But like I said, the baseline for everybody, and I align this a lot in my 21 day and my freebies, is just good, clean eating. So we really limit down the sugar. We get stable caloric intake throughout the day. And another big tip for women as we age, and a lot of women, and I bet you guys wouldn't believe what it is, but it's that we are not eating enough calories.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You've got my attention.
Which is crazy. I know people are like, what are you talking about? So many women, because as we get older, we get busy. Look at you. You have 7 businesses. Like, we are a busy society. Mm-hmm. So maybe people sneak a breakfast in there, and then all of a sudden it's 1 p.m. They're like, oh my gosh, I should have a lunch. They still have a healthy lunch. They'll have like a nice, grilled chicken on salad, whatever it may be. Then, they're running home, cooking for the kids, and they might have a late night snack. But like late in the day, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. So they're backloading their calories, and they're not really consuming their calories spread throughout the day, which is really going to help keep your metabolism revving at that high level. Okay. And it's almost like the water. So when we are not consuming enough calories, our body is saying to our mind, hold up, something's happening here. We need to hold on to everything we got because we are not getting the nutrition and the calories. And calories are energy. Calories help us with heat, our biochemical process. They help us with movement, and they help us with storage. That's what calories are, right? It's a very natural thing. But when our bodies aren't getting enough, it's going to go into that storage mode, and it's going to store fat because fat's protection. So that's the big thing for a lot of women, especially in their 40s with aging metabolism, 40 plus, with aging metabolism, is making sure you're consuming enough healthy calories.
So would that number differ for different women and you work with them on that? Is that the idea?
It depends on your activity level. It depends on a bunch of things. Very baseline, without saying if you're just a total sedentary person. A good rule of thumb that I use for people, just as a tip, is to take your ideal weight and put a 0 behind it. And that's the minimum calories you should be having a day.
Okay, I have to take a note on that. Can you repeat that? Take your ideal weight.
Take your ideal weight. Okay. Your ideal weight in your adult life. Because I have a lot of women 40 plus that sit there and they'll give me a weight that they were in their 20s. And I'm telling you right now, that's going to be very tough. So your ideal weight in your sort of 30s, 40s that you felt amazing at, and put a 0 on the end. And that is the minimum calories you should be consuming a day if you are just very sedentary lifestyle. See the difference? And then we're talking good calories. So I'm not talking processed calories, Ritz crackers, whatever, pastas and everything like that. I'm talking like good whole food calories.
What a great baseline. I've never heard anybody say that. I love that. Well, I know we're going to have to wrap up soon, and I definitely want to talk about some of the things that you have for our guests. But before we go there, Moni offered some really interesting information to me, and I know that a lot of you are interested in everything that she's talking about, but I also want you to know that she's a businesswoman. And I'm a businesswoman, and I want to teach people out there how we can be business people, and that you can be if you want to be. I don't know about Moni. You get to work from home, I assume. Okay. And you've got young children. All right. I get to work from home, which is amazing because my husband works super early in the morning. He comes home, we get to have breakfast together. It's fabulous. And I can spend time with him throughout the day and just fit that in. And I like to be able to encourage women that you can do that and you can have that life. So you had an interesting way that you started your business. I want you to tell them about that.
I did, because I did, like many, I actually came from a biochem background and biomechanical background, but then somehow after my professional volleyball career landed in corporate, which ultimately did not fulfill me and didn't feel, it was really, my calling and my rite of passion. So transition between my kids, I was like, this is prime time. I'm going to transition back into the health and wellness arena, and specifically, obviously, into the metabolism arena. But I was at a loss because I was like, you know what? Like I haven't worked with clients in years, and I really have no credibility. How can I go out there and give advice? Are people going to believe me? So what I did is I sort of, brain dumped all my knowledge, you'd say, and put it into these, online programs. And I asked 5 of my closest friends to do it and to give me feedback, testimonials, insight. And I basically walked them through like they're a client, but they did it for free. So a lot of people would say in the business world, this is beta testing, but this is what I did for at least, and it took me a while because, things didn't work right off the hop. But I beta tested for a good 6 months to really see. I surveyed people. I asked questions. I'm at the schoolyard with moms and I'm like, what's your biggest health concern now that you're older? What is it? What is bothering you? What doesn't make you feel like the most amazing rock star every morning and when you look at yourself in the mirror? And I know it's not going to happen every single day, but what is it? So I asked people questions. I put out surveys on Facebook. I polled people. Like there's so many resources out there. And I think my biggest thing for people, that especially for a lot of health coaches and health and wellness professionals entering into this arena that I'm in, is that what I wish I would have known now is that I wish I didn't waste my time with all the marketing stuff. So I was doing all this marketing and building up my website and my flashy cards and saying, going to a chiropractic office and saying, can I be your nutritionist on staff? And just thinking people are going to be knocking down my door for my services. And it doesn't happen. So just trying to get clients, you need people to give you testimonials, to feel out your program, to, you need to have that one-on-one vibe. And I recommend that to anyone before you get all the flashy marketing and everything. Get the context, get the grit, get the feedback for your business, and then you can do all the
I
other
think
stuff.
that was brilliant. So guys, that is such a great piece of advice, and I really wanted you to hear about that. She's got one more thing that I want to share before we close out the program, and about some of the things that she offers that you can work with her on, or vice versa, she can work with you, because I think she's got some incredible knowledge here. But tell us about your day. How do you structure that? And I want to focus a little bit between 6 and 7. There's one little gap I'm curious about, but go ahead and tell us.
So my typical day, I have to be structured and organized. It's just the way my brain works. So my typical day, if I've had a good quality sleep, I do have a 2-year-old, so it might change, but I wake up at 6 a.m. And for me, this is my creative time. So, and I make it as a power hour. So this isn't my time to meditate. This isn't my time to, sip coffee and read a magazine. I literally get up. I have my lemon water and I sit in front of my computer and I do content, because I find this is when it's quiet and I'm the most creative. Okay. So 6 and 7 work. And then my kids usually get up around 7. So 7 to 9, it's all kids and craziness and get out the door. And my son goes to school, and my daughter too has a caregiver that she goes to 4 days a week. And then when I drop them off, then I work out from 9 to 10. Outside as long as I can. I was a gym rat forever. So I do still believe obviously in resistance training, but I do try to connect with nature as much as I can. I live actually by the beach. So I'm there probably 5 days of the week.
Wow.
Yeah. And then lunch, of course. And then 1 to 2, it's more content development. So going over, because I do online for sure, but I also do belly to belly programs with people. And so I'll go over, where people are and what resources and worksheets and et cetera that they need. So I power through that for an hour. And then I have to book an hour for tracking and admin, because it's the one thing that I'm like, and people, I think in their business, you don't want to do it. And it's the worst thing to do. So I book it in. I literally have it as the hour, and I literally have a timer on my phone, and it's like for an hour, you are not looking at emails. You are not on Facebook. You're not doing anything. And I go through my analytics, my tracking, and any admin that I need to do. And then it's done. And then family time is 3 to 8. And then I'm a big personal development learning person. I love podcasts and yours. I love, like the Tony Robbins and books. So, and I do that in the evening. So, you're a little bit tired. It's not a big creative time for me, but that's my time to sort of listen to webinars and podcasts and read and just sort of wind down for the day. But that's a typical day for
I've
me.
got 2 questions in there, but first of all, I just want to applaud you for that 5 hours of family time. That is something that, first of all, your husband and your marriage is going to appreciate. Okay. But your children are going to remember. Okay. As moms that are working outside of the home, and I'm not criticizing moms that are working outside of the home, but if we can cultivate something that we can stay home and be with our kids, I am so for that. Okay.
Me too.
I was a stay-at-home mom for 22 years before I jumped into business. And, again, I'm never going to judge somebody for their choices, but I really, really applaud those 5 hours. But now I want to go back.
You know what my turning point, I'll give you a little tip. My turning point for me, because I was in corporate, I was 9 to 5, 9 to 9 some days, right? Like you're plugging it out, was we're running out of the house with my son, and my son turned to me and said, "Mommy, are we rushing today again?" And then that was it. I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to rush through life. Like you said, I want to, and I understand people need the 9 to 5, but there are other means out there 100% to have that quality time. And when your son's looking at you at the age, I think it was 4, and saying, "Are we rushing again, Mommy?"
I
was done.
How old was he?
4. Yeah, just started school.
No.
Rushing out the door of the school. Rush.
With my lipstick, there are people in this company that have been working less than a year. And one of the girls, it was the cutest thing ever. She was like pregnant when she signed up, and then her baby was born I think she was just right at 9 months pregnant when she signed up. I don't know how this woman did this, but it's the cutest thing to watch that little girl grow up. But in less than a year, there are women in this company making $12,000 to $15,000 to $30,000 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and they get to be home, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and not everybody's going to make that kind of money, but to do anything to be able to support your family and give your kids that time, I think is so important. Or even, you know, your marriage and your relationship. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how better to put that. So I love this. I totally applaud this. I want to know about your 6 to 7. Are you doing that in your PJs, and you're getting dressed in
Absolutely,
the
my
night?
friend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like literally get out, because I live in a very small house, so I don't want to wake anybody up. So I literally get up and just come right downstairs.
I love
And
it.
I have everything sort of set up from the night before. So there's no like shuffling for this paper or this to-do list or whatever. The night before I've sort of planned it out, and I go right into, I get sucked into Facebook, and I just tell myself, no,
I'm guilty
no
of that.
emails, no Facebook. And that's 6. And you'll be amazed at how much you actually get done. And I'm not a morning person. I am not a morning person, but I've learned that, I just made that switch.
Wow.
The switch, and it's
I used to be addicted to email, and I've learned to put that down and not even touch it until the afternoon. I mean, very occasionally will I just touch base and check, you know, but I've just learned that there are things that are just not that urgent. You know, I do social media, so I spend time on Facebook and stuff, but it's overboard for me. I need to curtail it, and I'm really aware of that. And my husband kind of looks at me like, you know, but if I wake up in the middle of the night, I enjoy reading for a while, you know. So,
right.
You know,
Absolutely.
but let's talk about your 21-day holistic management weight loss system.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, people need this. We've got to tell us about it.
This is awesome. So this is what I'm talking about, the new way to eat and train as we are 40 plus. And here you'll learn how to jumpstart your aging metabolism so you can lose weight, balance your hormones, which we talked a little bit about, get energy back while still eating all your favorite foods that you can easily find in your grocery store. And I think that's a big one, because people are like, am I going to be running around town at every health food store? What are you going to make me do? And it's not a diet. And I know the diet word's been thrown out a lot for people. It really is just walk you through a step-by-step system. I'm holding your hand through the 21 days and just teaching you how your body should be eating now. And it's American Thanksgiving next week, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be doing a flash sale on Monday, and it's going to be $47. And week by week, you're going to be getting, you know, you get a meal plan, you get a recipe book. I think there's over 50 recipes, whole food recipes in there. You get a food swap list, because I realize some people like this and some people do not. Mm-hmm. A food journal, weekly grocery list. So I take the guesswork out of grocery shopping. I tell you what you should be buying, and you have your list right in front of you. And I also give you an educational handout every week, because I want to guide you with why and how we are doing things. Like, why are we doing it? Why is this working for you? And then, of course, there's massive accountability, motivation, and support through a private Facebook group. So that is, yes, it's huge. People have been loving it and raving it. You know, if you need to lose 5 pounds, you need a Kickstarter. People that need to lose, 20 or 30 more pounds. People that just have bloating. People that just want to feel better. And some people just want some new whole food recipes. I've had people, they're just like, Moni, I love the recipes. I want the meal plans. I'm a busy mom. I don't even want to think. So they just download the recipes. So yes, that's there for you and your audience, 100%.
Well, this has been awesome, and we thank you. And I want people to feel better. I want you to look your best. I want you to feel your best. So reach out to Moni, connect with her. She's got some freebies. Now, probably by the time this airs, it'll be too late for Santa Stole My Spanx. Yeah. But she's got other freebies. And where can we find those? How can they connect with you?
You can connect with me with www.monikatupholme.com, which you probably have a link in the show notes there.
We definitely will. And then for them anyway.
It's Monika, and then last name is Tupholm, M as in mom, E.com. And the freebies and everything will be up there. And I'm also very active on Facebook. You can find me at Mojo Moni is the Facebook page. I have lots of amazing recipes and tips and inspiration there. And on Instagram, it's Monika_Tupholme on Instagram. I have lots of stuff. So yes, definitely reach out. Would love to hear from you.
Awesome. Well, this has been absolutely fabulous. We can't thank you enough for taking the time.
Thank you.
Everybody who found some value in here, please share the show and please reach out to Moni. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. This has been great. What a great way to start the day.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening to the Princess Power Hour with Natalie Thomas. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit princesspower.com or on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter at PP Princess Power. Until next time, work smarter, not harder. Have a question for your host of Princess Power Hour, Natalie Thomas? Contact us at www.princesspower.com or tweet us at PP Princess Power.